merit, goodness, we got to start with the mind first. If our mind don't have what we call goodness, the kind of meritorious thought, good thoughts, skillful thoughts, then we won't be able to perform good deeds. And what we'll be performing will be like in the past, all these are irresponsible, reckless, very kind of destructive and detrimental kinds of action that we have performed in the past, and it brings us no good result at all. And we come to a stage of our life that we want to have a change because it is so painful, it is so destructive, it is so torturing. Why? Because our mind is the one that feels. Our mind is the one who can reflect and on all these weaknesses within us. It's just that people coming to the temple, if they doesn't bear the mind of meritorious deed, of doing goodness, they won't come to the temple for sure, because they know what we call relinquishment to give up something, to share, right? In a more proper term, to share something that they have with other people. And it's not easy to perform. And that's why, because of human, what we call selfishness, very few people like to share. They always keep for their rainy days. Why should I share? This is mine. Why should I share? They don't deserve it. This is mine. You see, this is mine. You see, that's why, because of that, our mind always hold on. A lot of attachments, keep gripping, holding on, attachments so strong. And that's what the word dana come into terms. That's why the Buddha specified in the first barami called thana barami. That means dana is giving, generosity as the first you must perform, because if we cannot give up or let go or share something external of us, how can we let go of the internal thing that's our mind state, right? All this thought, and how human being attached is because of greed, hatred, and delusions, right? That we are attached to our views. And this is very strong. It's not easy to shake off this kind of view. It takes long terms of practice. And it is not beyond human determinations to practice to achieve that, right? We human beings, it's normal that we have this kind of unwholesome thought. It's normal. It's normal to be greedy, to hate someone. It's normal to be, deluded, because it's untrained. But as we training ourselves from a lay people, right, with no precept, who don't know about goodness, who don't know about what we call skillful means, we start to develop. We start to tell ourselves that we want to have a change in our life. And from the first day we have this thought in our mind until today, we look back. Are we improving? Yes. Yes. And it can be done, right? And we are counting on it, and more to come to improve. And this is the kind of attitude we should adopt, right? It's not something like, once done is done, because we haven't reached to the end of goodness. Yes, goodness is never ending, right? But the goodness of your mind, the relinquishments of the greed, hatred, delusion in our mind, there's an end. And how to end it is that we got to have mindfulness. We are going to have awareness always, the present awareness encompassed with mindfulness. And every time we're mindful about whatever thoughts arises within us, good thought, bad thoughts. Bad thought, we know. Good thought, we know. Those bad thoughts, we know, but we are not going to react, because we know that the minute we react to unwholesome thought, and what are the results? We know better. And every time we react with good thoughts, what is the result? We also know. It's just that when we are happy, how you feel when you're happy, you feel good. You feel very nice, very peaceful, very happy when you feel happy. Yeah, it feels good, and the emotion is good. But if you feel angry or you feel a lot of hatred, how you feel? You feel bad. So there's what we call it, the tug of war within us, not outside, within us. We are the one who make the decision. That's why if we have mindfulness, we keep repeating the putto, 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 putto. We don't underestimate. Putto actually is mindfulness. When the power of a mindfulness glow, 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 blossomed in our heart, you will find that all this unwholesome thought got very less influence over our mind. Because why? We have very strong guard of mindfulness guarding the mind. So the mind is always being guarded and being placed in the state of glowing, growing and glowing. So if you feels good, it just feels good, right? And nothing can come near. Thing just passing just like the dirt, right? Just as a non-dust pen, you just hit a big pop, the dirt will drop away. Same thing with the mind. If your mind is properly trained, if your mind is always have mindfulness to guide over your sensor, over your own mind, you don't have to worry. Whatever happen outside, you just look, you just observe it, you just be aware, but you're not affected. You can stay in the world, but you're not affected. But we do have a goal, a common goal, and that is goodness, and that is dipana. You see, for this development of our own mind, we have this goal, and then this is how it progresses as we goes along. Right? Internally we grow, externally we understand. Oh, this is how we should deal things. Oh, this is the mistake we have committed. We should remedy it. Oh, this is the way how we should react. And this is the way we call it the life of learning. This life of learning, the process of learning in our life, right? There's no one syllabus that covers everything. No. Everything is anicca, impermanent. It keeps changing. And because our mind is so tricky, it keeps changing with the circumstances around us. You see, issue arises, it keeps changing. But if we just have this broad awareness, pure awareness, and just be mindful and coupled with wisdom, don't worry, come what may, take you on. We are not going to retreat. Just watch the problem and say, oh, this is the way we should solve it. And the more we do work at it, the more we will appreciate that all these problems that we are facing are in fact a blessing in disguise to sharpen our mindfulness, to sharpen our wisdom. They are sharpening stone to sharpen us, to challenge us so that we can take them on and we move further. There are more things to count on, and it will be more and more interesting, more and more interesting. It's not that we're going to get disheartened, no. More interesting, more interesting. And this is where meditation is fun. When you hit this stage of mind, that nothing can, then you see, it's fun. Fun in a way, not at the expenses of anyone. It's fun because, why? We look at the defilement of ours and we look at it like a fool. Externally, these are the foolish thing that is happening, and your mind is not affected. And you see the different, the contrast, immovable. And this is what we call goodness established in your mind. The real goodness has been established. What we call viharatham. The vihara, that means a house of Dhamma has been established. All the roots of Dhamma has been established in one's own heart. And this is very important, regardless of whether you are lay people or you are monk. And this is the way we should develop our mind. And when we reach a stage, you'll be very blessed because why? Nothing can move you. Even you stay in this world for the sake of saying. Even you live this world without remorse, with no regret, with no sadness, but full of goodness. And that will be the sharing for today. You see, in the world of our existence, in this suppositions world, it's never ending of problems. Because this is supposition world. Suppose. The word supposition, that means the mind create this supposition, the mind make up the story under the influence of liking, disliking, greed, hatred, delusion, ego, and pride. And this is a problem. That's why we can never solve the external problem. We keep solving and new problem keep popping up. In the end, we will get disheartened. In the end, we will get very, very disheartened and very tired mentally. Because why? External problem that the Buddha said. That's why the Buddha is so sick. The Buddha is so. When the Buddha realized that, oh no, even he can enjoy all the sensual pleasure, have all the status of name and fame and so forth. But why? Why does a Buddha got to give up? Because a Buddha has the wisdom to look at the thing. Even being a king with all the authority, and we see how the father torture or punish prisoner, that kind of pain people got to go through because enforcing certain things to make people disciplined, and that is a form of karma. And that really make the Buddha, before he's a bodhisattva, before he was a bodhisattva, he acknowledged all these things. That, oh no, if he has to become the king, then he got to, perform the duty of doing all these things, which is very, very a lot of suffering for other people and suffering for oneself. And that's why he given all these things, external things. And he found a path that the problem lies within us, human beings, each and individual. We just solve our internal problem, and that's it. Right? Our problem lies within ourselves. The external problem, you never ending. You keep solve here, pop, another problem come out. It never ending. But nevertheless, as a human being staying on earth, right, it doesn't mean that we don't solve problem. We solve as when we see fit. What thing need to be involved, right? We have eye to see, we have ear to hear, we have our nose to breathe, we have our mouth to tasting, to chew things, to speak. We have bodily sensation to feel, and we have this, what we call analytical mind. The mind that can think wisely, or the mind that can think unwisely under the influence of this greed, hatred, delusion, under the influence of pride and ego, right? And because of this poison within us that causes us so much pain, which we never see that it's pain. We thought that, oh, this is good, right? But if we were to look into it, right, and we have to meditate, and then we can see how this kind of mind state has sabotaged our meditation progress. He has been all the while making us hindrances, fabricating all kinds of story that this should be done, that should be done, and blah, blah, never ending. And in the end, day wasted, month wasted, year wasted, deaths coming to our doorstep, and thing hasn't been done. And the thing that should be done is what? Our mind state. So this is something we should always look into it. Right? It's not that we don't solve problem. We solve certain problems that need to be solved at certain level. But we can never solve that. There will be no problem. There will be always problem. Because this is a supposition world. But the Buddha said the problem they can solve is our mind problem. Our mind being able to detach, being able to see clearly with wisdom. And then we are able to, don't have to say let go. We are able to relinquish or just look at the problem that, oh, this is the way it is. Live and let live. Coexist with different views, different kinds of people stay together. And this is how the world can inter-exist together. If you want to enforce one kind of view, then the whole world will be in war. It just is what happened to the whole political system now. Each individual try to take control, try to have power over the other country. And these are all defilements from the mind, from the greed of one person. And it creates so much pain for the whole world, for the whole society. You see, human mind can be so powerful, so destructive. That's why when we bear the kind of wisdom, bear in mind, we have the wisdom, we have the ability, always do something that is skillful, constructive, and helping the less fortunate. That should be the way. But you look at the political system nowadays, it's crazy about power, sabotaging, and creating detrimental effect on human beings. And from here we can see, oh, this mind of human mind, when it is not trained, this is the way it will behave. Regardless of what religion, regardless of what race, what language, or where you stay, which country, no. This mind is the mind of a human mind, the mind of greed, hatred, delusion. If it is not been trained, no moral educations, no moral to be supported behind every decision make, then this is what we experience nowadays, what we can see. We are living beings, we can see. And we're not going to believe what the media will tell us. We just use our mind, look at the whole thing, and we analyze it. Oh yeah, this, the more we meditate, the more we see through human defilement. We see through and through. Right? This is another defilement, never mind. Then we can say that, no problem, leave it. Right? The fire start where? The fire will stop there. Just non-reactive. It takes two hands to clap. And if we don't clap, the thing just die off. You see? It just has the body. It doesn't have the breath. The body die off, right? You got to have the breath. If there's no breathing, it just die. That's all. Nothing special. This body of ours, it need the breath. Like Luang Pu Hong, this very old monk, right? He make predictions many years back. He said in the future there will be this disease concerning respiratory system. And the doctor all get excited. Luang Pu, which year? And what are the problems? Come through the air. And now they bring out this interview that Luang Pu said last time, many years back. And it's true. A lot of teachers, they have saw this thing, but they are the least affected. And they just keep telling their devotee that, remember, you want to get over this crisis, observe the 5 precepts. Observe the 5 precepts. The best medicine, observe the 5 precepts. No other medicine, only these 5 precepts that can help you. And that will be the sharing for today. A lot of people, they are looking for changes on the external part in their life. What we have seen in the past until the present, it has never been changed. Human beings are always looking for better life, better thing in their life to happen to them. And at first, when we come to a foreign land, we always full of hopes that, everything will be better, weather will be better, food will be better, housing will be better, social welfare scheme will be better, everything will be better. And we thought that everything is better because the system is good. But after we have arrived and stayed for a while, then we found out that like that. Like the same. Why? Why the same? Because the same body we are bringing along. The same body, the same kind of mindset we bring along to everywhere we go. Different parts of the world, different kind of society, different scope of jobs, different kind of responsibility will be assigned to. And we find ourselves landing in the same spot, the same kind of problem we are facing, even though we always hope for something better will be happening. And we try so hard to adopt system of the world. Wow, this system is better, that system is better. At the end, we don't find the real happiness. We keep changing system, keep changing with new ideas, new concept, new painting, new making up of story, to cover the old story that we thought is dull. But you were to look at the fundamental, the real basic thing in life, it's the same. At the end of the day, it's the same kind of food we take, the same kind of feces that's excreted out from the body, the same kind of bed. The difference is only a bit of difference. It's colder, it feels nicer, but your mind doesn't feel nice at all. And what is this thing happening? Because we are chasing things, we are correcting the wrong aspect in life. So when the Buddha said, we have this, be contented with what you have, the 4 requisites. Be contented with what you are and look for something better. And that is your own mind. We look for something better, change for something better. Because a lot of people try to change the world, try to change the behavior of other people. And in the end, we are wasting so much time, tiring, get frustrated because people doesn't change. You see? That's the problem. And we try to force certain kind of idea into other people. And it doesn't work. Because we must understand individual got their individual karma, their individual brought up in their social experience in their past. This is something we must accept in life. That's why in Buddha's teaching, the Buddha never said go and change other people. Never. The Buddha only said change yourself, improve yourself, train yourself. You see? Eradicate the great hatred and delusion in oneself. And the Buddha never tells us to change other people. Never. Never in one of teaching the Buddha mentioned. Never. But the Buddha said, okay, you just disseminate, share your experience, share. When someone come and ask you, that's why. Every time before the Dhamma talk, someone will invite the Dhamma. You see, invite the Dhamma to be expounded. You see the difference here? It's different. But nowadays we see it's totally different approach. You see, we want to change people. This is wrong. We don't change people. We change ourselves. We set ourselves when you can achieve the real happiness, when you can behave yourself in the kind of things you behave in yourself. Then this good behavior will be a good influence externally in the way of the Dhamma. For example, be generous, share kindness, all this good value. This is something that we change. Last time we we're not like that. We are not kind enough. We are very harsh. We are very crude. We are very unkind. But as we practice along, we find your heart becomes softer and softer. Softer not because you will be bullied. Softer because you have addressed the harshness in our mind, our attachment to the pride, to the views of how things should be done. We get softer because we know it's no point. We will only say that, we will only help those people who need to be helped, can be helped. If those people we can't help, leave them alone. Because it's just like certain animals, you want to give them good food, but when they see shit, they will take shit first. Like human beings, those people who are indulgent in drinking or attachment to sensual pleasure, and a person who delighted in Dhamma, you put a bottle of whiskey and the Dhamma book. The guy who like drinking will take the whiskey, and the guy who like Dhamma will take the book. And you think the one who read the Dhamma book will tell the whiskey guy to say that, hey, you must take the Dhamma book. The whiskey guy, you crazy? How not to be drunk? The same thing. When a person don't appreciate or he doesn't see the fault in oneself, it's useless. We don't waste our time. Remember, we don't waste our time. Because in the end, we will only tired out. We will be drained, mentally drained, get yourself worked up with this kind of unnecessary things. The righteousness in oneself is your own practice. That's the most important thing. And the other thing, we just leave it. Because this is the world. That's why the world of suffering, when we talk about the world, this is the world. Yeah, this is the world. What to do? To each his own karma. At the right time, right place, right timing, right occasion. Not everybody will like this type of thing. No. So we must, once we practice along the way, we will start to realize that, we don't force things to happen. We let things happen gradually. Just like when we practicing Dhamma, the same thing last time. Coming to a temple is a very difficult task. All kinds of excuses. But once we can feel the calmness, the happiness arise from chanting, from sitting meditation, from being secluded, staying alone, we find that, the goodness of staying alone, the goodness of being alone, be able to think for yourself, nothing to bother you. Then you can see the contrast. You can understand slowly, the mind will absorb into the calmness, into the taste of Dhamma. And this is the same thing like you put salt into certain food. The more saltish it is, right, you can preserve the food longer. The same thing, like our heart. Every time we get in touch, every time we close to something that's beneficial, we will benefit. The heart will open up, you get more and more happier. And this is why the Buddha always encourages us to associate with the wise and stay away from the fools. Because the fools will only bring you suffering in life. Unlike the wise one, who will only bring you things that improve your lifestyle, both mentally and physically. Okay, that will be the sharing for today. Now the first noble truth in our Buddha's teaching is Idang ko panna bhikkhave dukkhang ariya satchang. The first noble truth is what? Dukkha, suffering. We suffer because of what? Because we are born. We suffer because first thing we are born in this world. And because of the birth, we have this body. So we are subject to aging, subject to illness, subject to death, passing off. There's furthermore to it is Something that you wish for, it doesn't come in line with what you wish for, you suffered. Someone who are dear to you, your immediate family passed away, right? You suffered. Or someone left you, our immediate. It can be our parents, can be our, sibling, brother, sister, or so-called relative, or good friends. We will feel sad. And the loss of name and fame, also same thing. You feel sad. And to conclude this body and mind, what the Buddha said, the five khandhas, is suffering. It's easy to say that we don't suffer if we are not born. And because of this birth, we got to go through all this kind of traumatic kind of feelings, emotion that's cutting up in our heart. And we cannot deny. And because we are human beings got what? Got feelings. Human being got emotion. We have the memories. And because of this memory of the relationship of how we were treated when we were small, so it will trigger what we call emotions, the feelings towards our beloved one. And it's normal, right? It's normal. It's normal that you feel sad. It's normal that you will cry. It's normal that you feel depressed for a moment, for some time, but it will heal. It will heal in no time to come. Because why? Our mind keeps changing. And these things are all impermanent, even emotions. It will become a very, very, impact on our mind if we keep thinking of it. But if we were to just acknowledge the arising of the thought, thinking of a beloved one, thinking of, the old memory of the past, we just acknowledge, be mindful and acknowledge, and in no time, all this thinking will subside. And because of the thought have been subside, this thought will no longer be an influence to your mental emotion anymore. It will be just like a normal thought of something. You go to a party, or you buy a new thing, or you get promoted, that kind of moment, you're happy and it's gone, right? And because this is very strong impact, because it was our immediate family, that's why we feel the impacts so strong, right? And it will linger for some time because we can't help it, right? And that's why the cultivation of the minds comes in, right? The cultivation of the minds comes in is what? You got to put your mind in the good occupations. Think of the Buddha. Putto, 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 putto. Instead of letting your mind lingering to the past memory that is flashing in your mind, you detach from the memory. Instead, repeat the word putto in your mind. Putto, 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 putto. Right? It's not that we are inferior by doing that. Because we don't want to be caught up by emotions. Right? And it is a good test, I should say, because of this impact, because of this happening. It gives you an opportunity to prove to yourself the challenge that, okay, I am able to pull out from these emotions, from this mind state that is grilling and giving us all this kind of unpleasant feeling in our mind, sadness, that we detach by implementing a new subject that is Putto, reflecting on the quality of the Buddha, Putto, 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 Putto. And in no time, because of your perseverance, in no time, because of your faith, and keep trying, you will eventually bring the mind to a state of calmness. And when the mind has reached a state of calmness, then you can see the contrast, the differences between the mind that is always been blended with the trail of thoughts without control, and the contrast, the differences of a mind that has an occupation to hold on to, and that is Putto. And what has happened cannot be undone. We will also be the one following up next in line. So we are a filial daughter or son in the family. We do our part. Like what has been done today is very, very good, right? We transfer merit, but by transferring merit, our mind must be focused and composed in the right state of mind. If not, we cannot generate the energy, generate the good thoughts. It doesn't have the power. So bear in mind, life is such, right? It's natural processes of every living beings on earth that birth, aging, illness, and death is a natural phenomenon, right? So, of course, we'll send our best wishes and our condolence to the deceased, to the family members, that may they get over the grievances at the fastest speed. Don't let your mind never die. Remember, goodness never die. It's the dying of this physical body, but not the mind. Yatha varivaha pura paripurenti sakarang eva beva nito tina petana upakapatit Ichita badita dumha kipameva samichatu sape purentu sankapa Chandho panaraso yatha manicho diraso yatha Tiya vivajantu samaro govina sadumade bhava Vandarayo sukhi dikayo go bhava viva Tanasile sanicang buddha Vajayino cakaro dhamma Tanti ayuhano sukhang Alaya sami padese kapete vasa parita jatiyo Sila vadeta mochetawa sanyate brahmacharino Yadata devata sunta sadakina madese Tapucita pujayanti marita manayatina Adonang anukampanti mata puta vaurasang Dewata nukampito poso satabarani pasati Bhavatu sabamanggalang rakadosa badewata Sabba buddha nubhavena sadasoti bhavantu te Bhavatu sabamanggalang rakadosa badewata Sabba dhamma nubhavena sadasoti bhavantu te Bhavatu sabamanggalang rakadosa badewata Sabba sangha nubhavena sadasoti bhavantu te